Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm attempting my first ever 24-hour readathon and I'm scared. There we go. It's just not my favourite. I'm out. This afternoon. Why? Quicksilver. Reign of the Fallen. Not in Love. Boring. I have been obsessed with these videos lately, and if you don't know what a 24-hour readathon is, the clue is kind of in the name. I'm gonna set a 24-hour timer on my phone, and basically I'm gonna see how much I can read in 24 hours. I am gonna have to pause it because as much as I wish I didn't have a job or didn't have to do things in life, I unfortunately do. It really sucks. But basically over the next, I'm hoping max 48 hours, I'm going to get 24 hours of reading done, and we're gonna see how much I can get done. So I thought we could pick up my TBR together because I have no clue what I want to read. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how much I can read. Before we do get started, I'm going to just update you. So I am currently reading Powerless by Quicksilver, page 207 of 486. So of course we'll finish that today. And then on my February TBR, let me get my iPad. I want to have a mixture of physical and Kindle books. I do read better on my Kindle. On my February TBR, I have The Wishing Game, Not in Love, Fangirl Down, Throne of the Fallen, Hello Stranger, Powerless, Mile High, They Both Die at the End, Lessons in Chemistry, and The Striker. I have read Hello Stranger, Mile High, They Both Die at the End, and obviously I'm reading Powerless. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that far through. It's the 13th of Feb. You know what, it's not that bad. Let's have a look. I think I want to read Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood because on my Fable I keep getting reviews of this pop up. But Ali Hazelwood writes a lot of like science and chemistry, sciencey stuff. Is it YA? I can't remember actually. But there's 378 pages in this, so I definitely think we should read this as well as Powerless. So they're two romances. Do I read lessons? Do I bite the frickin' bullet? This is 390 pages. Then that can be my two physical books. What else? The Wishing Game, Fangirl, Throne of the Fallen. Throne of the Fallen is a fantasy. She's meaty. I'm going to be a bit more lenient with myself. If I'm not feeling a book, I'm not going to force myself to read it. So I may soft DNF one of these, but we'll see. I'm going to make a little backup TBR. This can be my backup options. So I've got Fangirl Down, which I actually don't want to read at all, but it's on my TBR. We've got Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope, which I've heard incredible things about. And we've got Spiral by Bal Harborough. I read Collide by Bal Harborough a couple months ago and freaking loved it. So I just think this is going to slap. So I'm also wanting to read this. Let's stick with Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus, Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Manis-Scalco, and Powerless by Quicksilver, and see how much we can get done in 24 hours. 59 seconds. Okay, well, let's go sit down and get myself situated because I'm not reading like this. 3, 2, 1, start. There we go. We've got a nerd. Say hi to the vlog. I am on the last 100 pages of Powerless. Page 427 of 486. There are 22 hours, 22 minutes and 36 seconds left remaining. So I'm gonna read probably for another hour, maybe an hour and a half. Definitely gonna finish this book and start the next one. I think I'm gonna read Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Anyway, we'll finish Powerless. It's still giving 3 stars, not even 3.75, 3 stars right now. So I'll finish it and then yeah, we'll move on. Why are you crying? Ned wants more TV time. What are you crying for? Hello. I'm not gonna lie, I did in fact underestimate how hard this is gonna be. It is Friday, it's the next day. I can't seem to get you in shot. I have got 21 hours, 11 minutes and 58 seconds left on my timer. I finished Powerless. I gave it 2.75. I just did not enjoy it, you know, I really didn't. But we've moved on to Not in Love. This is not YA. I don't know why I said this was YA. This is not YA. Nothing crazy has happened, it's just not YA. I'm 72 pages in, I'm enjoying it. This is dual POV, so this follows, I always forget main female characters' names, Eli and Rue, that's it. Eli and Rue, they basically meet on an app which is, I think, just for hooking up. They meet, but then Rue's brother Vincent like crashes the date, and it just ends with Eli taking her home, and she's got a strict rule of like no repeat, so she was like, I won't see you again, even though nothing happened. and he's like infatuated with her. He's like, oh my god, I love this, like not literally, but he's really attracted to her, really like intrigued by her. And then the next day, Rue is a scientist. Well, she works in the lab as an engineer. Basically, I think Rue's company and Eli's company are merging. So Eli's company and his colleagues and him all come in to Rue's work, and they're all like, uh-oh. Rue's chapters are first person and Eli's a third person, which I've only just realised, and that was a bit confusing, but I actually kind of like it. I'm trying to get on board a little bit more with third person. It's just not my favourite, but I'm trying not to be so like, ugh. I'm going to try and read this entire book, not literally right now. I've got to clean the flat at some point today, but I want to get to about halfway through. This book is 400 pages apparently, 379 pages. I know yesterday I said, oh, I'm gonna read things from my TBR. I have changed my mind. I'm just gonna mood read with this readathon because first of all, it's a little bit harder than I thought it was gonna be. And I wanna not do well, I guess. Like, I want to make sure I'm giving it my all, but I'm not gonna give it my all if I don't like the books. And also, I might just unhaul the books that I really don't wanna read in my TBR. 2025, I've said this loads, but I want it to be more mood ready. I forced myself to read a lot of books, which I didn't actually really like last year, and it put me in ruts and slumps, and I really didn't like it. So I want to be a little bit more kind to myself and give myself fun, exciting reads. So I'm enjoying this, definitely going to carry on reading this. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to put any pressure on myself really. I'm just going to finish this, and then if I'm in the mood for more romance, because obviously I've just come from a romance into a romance, if I want another romance, we'll go for that. If not, I might go on to some fantasy. Maybe I'll just start Sparking the Everflame. I've just heard really good things about that. I'm filming in the exact same spot this entire video. Ned, come on up. We're looking after a very special little boy this afternoon. I finished Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. It was in fact 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. This is not YA. I know I've already said that, but this is nowhere near YA. This is the opposite of YA, but I really, really enjoyed it. The characters were so fun. The way they worked, I loved. The storyline, I loved. It was constantly keeping me entertained because I really didn't know how this was going to go. It was one of those books which I was like, this could go either way. It could have a happy ending, it could have a sad ending, and I wouldn't be surprised either way. I really liked it. I think I said yesterday, Eli's chapters, the main male character, his chapters are third person, whereas Rue's are first person, and I really enjoyed that. It kept it like very different, so you knew who you were like following, which I really liked. Overall, I really, really recommend it. It was a different type of romance. It was not all just smooth sailing in the slightest, so I really like that. I am now on 17 hours, 19 minutes and 18 seconds. I'm not gonna lie, this challenge is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, Ned, that's exactly what we're saying. We're about to take Ned out for a exploration and some galloping. I thought we would mix it up a little bit. I'm not actually sick of romance. I could watch another romance, read another romance, but I want to switch up because I don't want to get bored. So we're going to read Throne of the Fallen next, and this book is massive. This book is 550 pages, and it is on my February TBR. I think we're going to start this. I reckon I want to get the timer to under 10 hours today because I can't let this challenge. It starts on Thursday. I can't let it go to Monday. That's embarrassing. So I have to, get a decent amount done today. I am exhausted. I also think the reason this challenge hasn't gone as smoothly is because I'm training for a half marathon at the moment. My half marathon is in 3 weeks, and this morning I went on a 13-kilometer run, and I need to prioritize sleep and recovery, which obviously recovery, great, reading, but sleep, it means I can't stay up super late and read. Yeah, that's the only issue. That's my excuse. But yeah, I'm going to read Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco. Oh my days, look how beautiful that is. That is amazing. hello. Is this gonna work? It's been a while. I need to update you. I'm gonna do a full-on rundown tomorrow because right now the lighting, everything is not giving. But I'm on 6 hours 30. I've read Throne of the Fallen and the Fucking Wrong Guy. Is that what it was? The second book? Yeah, I've read them since I've spoken to you. I've got 6 hours left and we are finishing off with Quicksilver because I'll explain Throne of the Fallen tomorrow, but it really underwhelmed me, so I'm feeling like ugh. And then the Fucking Wrong Guy again really underwhelmed me, so I'm feeling a little bit like I don't like reading right now, and I've heard such incredible things about Quicksilver. So yeah, 6 hours 30. This book is 600 and something pages. Might be able to get it all done. It's telling me right now I've got 12 hours left in the book. There's no way, surely. I want to try and finish this and this, you know? We'll see. It's 8:10. I'm gonna read now and then I will check in with you tomorrow, and obviously this will be finished tomorrow, 100%. I keep saying that, but 100%. Kisses, I'll speak to you tomorrow. I've had the most insane day. Hello. It's been a minute since we've spoken. I finished Throne of the Fallen and I read The Fucking Wrong Guy since I've spoken to you. The Fucking Wrong Guy was a very quick read. I rated it 1 star. And I rated Throne of the Fallen 2 stars. Hasn't been a great time. I think that's why I haven't felt like I wanted to film, because I've been really underwhelmed. Throne of the Fallen was just so boring. It had just nothing to it. Basically, it follows this artist and this prince, and basically the prince is playing this game where he has to figure out all these riddles and these clues to redeem his court's healthiness, I guess. Basically his court was like falling apart and he had to do this game to redeem his court, I guess. And then the artist, well, they meet because the prince needs the artist to paint him a throne, and she's like no, because she has this secret magic about her, and she's like no, but then she agrees to, and then they're basically tied together and they kind of do this quest together, but it is not focused around that at all. I feel like the actual fantasy part of it was not very prominent, and it was third person, which we all know I don't really like, and it was just, it felt like filler. Like the whole book, I was like, nothing about this is actually very exciting or gripping. I mean, the like ending was, I guess, a little bit like, oh, surprising, I guess, but also wasn't exactly like, oh, like no part of it had me wanting to read more. So I didn't film because I just like read it. I basically just forced myself to, even though at the start of this video I was like, I'm not gonna force myself to read books I don't want to read. I did twice, 2 in a row. So yeah, Throne of the Fallen got 2 stars and I wouldn't recommend it. It was romantic, there was some romance, but just in general I think there's way better out there. No offense. I don't know if I'm gonna read any more Kerry Maniscalco. I'm gonna see. I've got Kingdom of the Wicked. I'm gonna see if that's third person. If it is, I'm out. And then I read The Fucking Wrong Guy. I don't know why I read that. I was just like, oh, I need something kind of funny. And I read The Fucking Wrong Number back in November and it made me laugh. It's a dark romance. It's so messed up, but also it's an ice hockey romance. It's just so, they're so funny because it's so outrageous. And the first one was like outrageous. Second one, it fell flat. It felt really just like, oh, okay. So I rated that 1 star, but I did read it really quickly. It was a really quick read. And I've got 5 hours, 50 minutes left. And I've started Quicksilver because I want another fantasy, which is like good. And I've heard such incredible things about Quicksilver. So I will finish this challenge today and then hopefully get this video up tomorrow. I'm gonna go to work and edit some of this video you're watching and read with my coffee. I ran an 18k yesterday, hence why last night I said I'd had a day. I was exhausted, and yeah, I had run 18k and I finished The Fucking Wrong Guy yesterday. So yeah, I'm on to Quicksilver. I want to try and finish the challenge today. I'm hoping Quicksilver will spice it up a little bit, and it will obviously be the last book I read. I don't actually know if I'll be able to finish it in this challenge. I'll try to. I'm feeling good. Yeah, the last 2 books have really flopped, really flopped. So I'm hoping Quicksilver spices up my life a little bit. Hello, good afternoon. We've made a lot of progress. 13 minutes left. I'm 82% through Quicksilver. I'm gonna finish the book and I'm gonna finish it probably now. I have kind of been on and off playing the timer because obviously I'm gonna finish this book, so it doesn't really matter, but I've got an hour and 35 minutes left of the book. I'm not gonna lie, I've not enjoyed this as much as I thought I was going to. I feel like the last 10%, I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying it now. Before that though, I was like, this is slow. I don't know, I feel like I'm in not a slump, but I just don't really know what I want to read. Like there's nothing I'm like gravitating towards. Like I thought I really wanted to read fantasy, then I read Throne of the Fallen and I didn't really like it, so I was like, oh, maybe I don't, well, I didn't love the book. I was also like, maybe I'm just not in the mood for fantasy. And then I read a dark romance because the last time I read a dark romance I found it like entertaining, but again didn't really like it. Read a romance, didn't really like it. Now reading romantasy and I'm not loving it. I don't really know what I want, but obviously this is the last book for this challenge, but I feel like this hasn't been giving as much as I thought it was. Like people say this is one of their favourite fantasy books and I'm like, why? What's so crazy about it? But I'm gonna finish it now. I'll show you when it ends and then I'll finish this book and then I will update you. But just been out for lunch, now I've got a sleepy tea, Stanley, Fred's just got home and I've got my Kindle. I'm on chapter 36, page 500 of 610. I will check in a bit. We have in fact come to the end of this video and it was a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I'm quite surprised, but I thought we would talk about all the books we read and I'll give you my final thoughts, etc. on all the books I read in 24 hours. Although it was not in 24 hours, it was in multiple days, but with a 24-hour timer. So we start off this video finishing Powerless by Elsie Silver. I rated this book 2.75 stars. It was definitely not my favourite in the Chestnut Spring series. I don't know, I loved the one before, I think that was Heartless. I loved Heartless. Flawless was good, but like not my favourite. Powerless was definitely not my favourite. I just was not a big fan. It was just really flat for me. I do feel like, and I think it's going to become quite clear in this kind of end of video book review, that I'm in a bit of a weird place with my reading. I don't know what I want to read. I'm not necessarily like feeling anything. So that was a bit challenging to kind of work around because I was not feeling gravitated towards any genre or any book really. So yeah, Powerless is third book in the Chestnut Spring series. It follows Jasper and Sloane. And yeah, like I said, it was good. I just didn't love it. I don't love how all the girls in the Chestnut Spring series are so helpless. I like a strong female lead. I like a strong female. I like a strong female main character. So when they're really like, oh, where is me? I just need a man. I'm a bit like, I don't know, it's just not a bit of me. So 2.75 stars. I didn't hate it by all means. I'm gonna carry on the series, but it was definitely my least favourite so far. Then we read Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I read the physical copy of this. I loved this. Thank goodness I did. This was 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. This follows Rue and Eli. They're both scientists and basically Eli comes to Rue's work after, literally the day after, Rue and Eli plan to sleep together because they both have this app where you basically just find people to hook up, and Rue has a rule against repeating seeing people basically. And then obviously the next day he's at her work, and yeah, it basically follows that. It's very much like, well, it's giving like golden retriever vibes, and I loved Rue. She was very independent. That's what I like. I really loved this story. I really loved the characters. Book was split first and third person, so Eli's chapters were read in third person whereas Rue's were first person, which I really enjoyed. I liked the switch up, so I was very much here for that. And yeah, I just loved it overall. I liked the conclusion. I liked the third act conflict. It didn't annoy me or anything. So that is definitely the best book I read this video, and I really enjoyed. After that, we read Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco, which again, I have the physical copy here. This flopped, and this flopped hard. I rated this 2 stars. This whole book was third person, which I'm not a massive fan of third person, which is why with Not in Love, it surprised me. I just really prefer first person. I find it way more personal, way more easy to imagine, whereas third person, it's just not a bit of me. This whole book is third person, and the whole concept and storyline was just boring to me personally. It follows Envy and what's her name? What's the artist's name? Camilla. Envy is a prince, and he's basically playing this game to win back his court's health. Like, his court is deteriorating, and he's basically winning this game to try and redeem his court's health. For one of his quests, he needs an artist to paint a throne. He asks Camilla. Camilla's an artist, but she actually has some magic to her that she's trying to hide. And basically he lures her into painting this painting, and then she finds out more about the quest, and then they go on this quest together. It was just boring. It was, I don't know, it just really fell very flat for me. I don't know, I, with my fantasy, really like when it's like women led, not gonna lie. I love when it's like, with Fourth Wing, Violet is like this, perceived as this weak woman who can't do anything, and then absolutely slays the house down and proves everyone wrong. That is my favourite type of fantasy, when it's like someone who looks frail absolutely kills everyone and slays the house down. And I also very much like Hunger Games-esque books. So like I said, Fourth Wing, my favourite. Reckless, Powerless, love them. A Court of Thorns and Roses, love them. Like when there's a big, you know, war coming or just something looming, I like. Whereas with this, it just didn't have enough build up for me to find it enjoyable, basically, or like enticing. It was like, oh, you're still stuck here. Oh, there you go, there's another clue. Solved it. Like, it was just really boring. And then the conclusion was like, I was just like really bored of it, to be honest. No offense, but I don't think I'm gonna continue reading Kerry Maniscalco. I'll have a look at Kingdom of the Wicked. I have Kingdom of the Wicked. Then we read The Fucking Wrong Guy, because after Throne of the Fallen, I was like, right, I need something more entertaining. And I read The Fucking Wrong Number back in November, December, and it was like funny to me. It was so messed up, and I was like disgusted to an extent, but I found it so funny. Like, I was laughing at the like outrageousness of that book, and I was like, you know what, I need something which is ridiculous and that's gonna just have me not necessarily paying loads of attention, just like laughing and entertained. So I read The Fucking Wrong Guy by C.R. Jane. I rated this 1 star. We didn't have a great run. This again, boring. And I felt like The Fucking Wrong Number was like an introduction to the dark romance, and it was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then The Fucking Wrong Guy was just like the same old, but not as intense. It was like Lincoln, who's the main male character from the first book. It was like him, but a much watered down version, and just kind of more obsessed with this girl rather than like, I need this. How does that make sense? Yeah, just not as intense. And I feel like when you're reading a dark romance and the first book was that intense, the second book should be like more intense, you know? Not less. I feel like you can't start on a high and then just go, ooh. I feel like you should start and just get, you know, build and build. This one again, flopped massively. So yeah, that got a 1 star from me. Will I read the next books? Maybe. Again, I might reach a point where I'm like, oh, I need something ridiculous again, so I might read it. But also, I feel like there are probably way better dark romances out there. And if I find a better series or a better author, no offense, I might be swayed. And then we finish off this video with reading Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This underwhelmed me. Crazy. This is what I mean. I feel like this week in this video, I just haven't been in the mood for anything, which is really weird. Like, I'm glad I've read and I still really want to read. I just don't really know what I want to read. But Quicksilver, it only underwhelmed me because I've heard such high reviews and high praise of this book. Like, some people say this is better than ACOTAR for them. I personally don't agree. It was good. I feel like the first 70%, so literally 2/3 of the book, I was, or is that 3/4? No, I don't know. For most of the book, I was like, what is going on? I was like, this is boring. I think I'm just a bit bored right now. Then the last 30% did grip me and I was intrigued, but I can tell how much I like a book by how much I want to pick up my phone while reading. All these books bar Ali Hazelwood, I've wanted to pick up my phone, and that's when I hate reading. If I want to pick up my phone or scroll on Instagram, that is not a good sign. And I felt like that with Quicksilver until the last probably 25-30%. Yeah, I mean, good conclusion. I really liked the characters by the end. This follows Kingfisher and Cyrus Fane. She's a strong woman. She kind of has been fighting. Oh, I should probably explain what the book's about. Oh, I haven't explained what the book was about for most of these books. Right, let me backtrack. The Parking Wrong Guy follows Ari, Lancaster and Blake, and just actually I should say, check the trigger warnings on this book. This does have self-harm references, eating disorder references, and I would just be aware. I was not prepared. I mean, it didn't trigger me, I was fine. But especially the self-harm stuff, if that is a trigger for you, definitely do not read that book. Definitely not. Ari and Blake grew up in a care home together, and Ari basically was like, you're gonna be my wife one day. Blake then moved away because she got adopted, but she got adopted by quite a quite a mean, very like posh, high standard family, and she's now a model. And Ari Lancaster, basically he's an ice hockey captain, surprise surprise. He gets transferred to LA, is it LA? Yes, LA, to play on their team / hunt Blake down basically. And then Quicksilver follows Fisher and Cyrus, and Cyrus basically lives in a very poor town, and her mum and dad both died, ran away. Either way, her parents aren't on the scene. She's got a younger brother. She has to provide for him. Gets herself in a pickle because she steals something, and then she gets gobbled up basically by Quicksilver, which is a pool of metal, and then she's transported to Kingfisher's magic realm, and she is, turns out, was that a spoiler? Rose, editing Rose, maybe cut that out. She has magic, turns out. And he basically makes a promise to her that if she helps him, he will let her go. She can go back to living her life, saving her brother, all the above. And then obviously it's a lot more than that. It is, now I'm like thinking about it, I liked the book more. I think I rated it 3.5 stars. I don't know if I said. It was good. It just wasn't like, oh, I didn't love it, you know? Like I love my romantic books, and this was just like, it just fell short a little bit, but I did like it more. And that was the last book I read in this challenge. So, Powerless, Not in Love, Throne of the Falling, The Parking Wrong Guy, and Quicksilver. 5 books. That's pretty good. I am annoyed that they were 5 books I didn't love, apart from Not in Love, but I'm still glad I read them, and I hope you enjoyed. I definitely recommend doing a 24-hour readathon. Maybe do it better than I did then, don't span it out over multiple days. Maybe stick to it. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for any videos you want to see, please let me know. Follow me on Fable, Instagram, Goodreads, it's all in the description, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Kisses and hugs, bye.